by Capco, the John Long Middle School Marching Band. And they're volunteers to remind you about the Kids to Kids toy drive.
The John Long Marching Band was one of my many parade endeavors. And I had those drums going back in the day. And
oh, you were a drummer? Percussion.
Believe it or not, I was a drummer.
Well, the Capco Kids to Kids drive team is here at the parade promoting their 2010 toy drive. So we're asking everyone to visit Capco in Grafton anytime from 9 to 1 on December 11th for free family fun, and the event is a part of the Kids to Kids toy drive.
We just saw coming through the Ozaukee County Special Olympics. They have many young athletes. A few of them joined us today, and they just started a new program for kids 3 to 7 years old, focusing on motor and social skills. And when I was in high school, I volunteered as a coach for Special Olympics with a few of my friends, and it was a great experience. And Ozaukee County Special Olympics does an incredible job with their athletes, and they've had a lot of success actually. Their basketball teams have done very well. They have a track team and a few other athletics and sports, and they're great athletes, and they're amazing to work with.
It's so rewarding to volunteer and work for Special Olympics. I know I worked as a volunteer at one of the state bowling tournaments, and it was just an incredible day for me.
It is. They actually have a bowling tournament today. That's, I'm sure, where many of them were. They have one today, so...
We just had the 9-foot Statue of Liberty. And the trolley is sponsored by Caldwell Banker. They're actually Karen Stockwell. I forgot to mention, as the Marine Detachment went by, Steve Stockwell calls cadence. Is that what they do for the drill team?
Yes.
That was Steve Stockwell, and this is his wife Karen, right on the back of the trolley. The Stockwells are great volunteers for Grafton, and just great people that are, you know, an example of the fine people that we have in Grafton that volunteer. Karen had just got back from a trip, but while she was visiting her children who live in Denmark, she was emailing back and calling back, organizing her segment of the parade.
Oh.
So she's an invaluable parade volunteer to have. And this is Christmas Through the Years.
It's actually Dogs in Motion. It's in Saukville, Wisconsin, and from what I understand, it's a dog spa and activity center, and sounds like a good place to take your little friend.
Yes, this is the Dogs in Motion float. Dogs in Motion is located in Saukville. Actually, that's where my new grand dog Puppy got his socialization skills and learned how to swim.
They look like great dogs. They're bringing them through the route, and they're behaving themselves well.
And this is the Billy Bear Circus Band Wagon Train. They've been in our parade for a number of years. They do this for a hobby, and they change it up. They change all of the wagons in the summertime for the 4th of July parade, and then they make it adapt to every holiday. And what a fun thing to do for a retired couple.
Yes. This looks like the Grafton dance team. Maybe they'll do a dance for us.
Members of the Grafton High School dance team. They win lots of awards too, don't they? They sure have a lot of energy.
I think we're about to see it.
And next next coming up, we have a big favorite every year, the Jackson Concrete Truck, wishing everyone a safe and happy holiday. We gave them a lot of room this year in front. Last year the parade was coming kind of fast, and I was afraid when that thing was swinging back and forth.
It's a good thing they don't throw candy, because
I know.
they have their little elves up there, and they brought their own reindeer from the looks of things, and he's getting a free ride.
In your training at West Point, do they give you any training on estimating crowd sizes?
We do a lot about crowd control, but not so much about estimating crowd size. I think it's that's something that military intelligence takes care of, one of the branches of the Army, and a lot of West Point graduates go on to become military intelligence officers, and they calculate things like that, and I'm sure someday if one of them comes home to Grafton with me, they could give us an estimation.
Why don't you do that? I've always been really anxious to have someone who is really an expert in crowd control tell us about how many people they think attend our parade. Look at the crowd. It's amazing.
It's huge.
And certainly the Grafton Bowl and Heart of Grafton Family Restaurant is a favorite gathering place for everyone, as well as the Paramount Grill behind us, and the Bridge Inn down the road, and the Milwaukee Ale House. All of these libation places are great gathering places for people that are home for the Thanksgiving weekend and attending the parade. This is our village administrator, Daryl Hoffland, walking behind his sharp little car.
And coming up behind him are Dan Brill and his horses and their wagon, and they're sponsored by Cornerstone Community Bank with their little elves carrying the banner. Dan Brill and his team, these horses are actually used for farming and logging at their home, and he's nice enough to bring them to the parade to pull the wagon, and it looks like there's a few Cornerstone volunteers coming up behind him.
Right. In the truck, in the wagon that belongs to Dan Brill, are the volunteers of the month for Cornerstone Community Bank. Again, Cornerstone Community Bank, a gracious sponsor of our Breakfast with Santa this morning. And here we have Culver's Scoopy. We'd also like to welcome the Milwaukee Dancing Grannies that are sponsored by John Crane or Ryan.
And more of the Grafton cheerleaders welcoming them down the street. Thank you! Oh, the bank's throwing chocolate money at us.
Awesome. You know, the Dancing Grannies, no rocking chairs for these grannies. They were formed in 1984, and this award-winning group of grannies perform in about 20 parades every year from Memorial Day to Christmas. I understand that their appearance in our parade, the whole route, is being taped because the grannies are applying to appear in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh, wow.
So if they make it, unfortunately, that might be a year we have to do without their appearance in our parade, and we're going to miss them.
Being a New Yorker, I know that a lot of people go to that parade, and I think it's time for them to take their talents on the road, and throughout the years I've seen them here, and they get better every year.
They're awesome ladies, aren't they?
They are.
Your mother was invited to join. Did you know that?
Oh.
I'll tell you why.
I don't know if she is with us.
Because her former, one of her former teachers is a director in the Grannies, and her teacher didn't hesitate to remind her that she would be old enough now to join the Dancing Grannies. But
I've never seen my mom dance, and I don't think we want to. But if she chooses to do that, then...
Welcome, meteorologist from today's TMJ4, Brian Goddard. Brian grew up in Green Bay in the Fox Valley and loves being back in Wisconsin. He recently won the Emmy Award for the Best Meteorologist in the Midwest for the second year in a row. Just a little bit out of order here with the parade. They must have had some things going on in the staging area. This is St. Paul Lutheran float.
And these look like the brownies.
It sure does.
Been there, done that. One year I was actually a partridge in a pear tree. With
that's right. These are the Grafton Brownies and Girl Scouts. And some of the Cub Scouts. Well, the float that went past was the St. Paul Lutheran Church and School float. It's a new float that was entered this year, and it was created by the St. Paul Student Council. This is Natalie Salkowski, the 2010 Wisconsin Fairest of the Fairs.
And sponsored by Port Washington State Bank, we get to enjoy the music of the Ozaki High School Marching Band. So they're just a little up the highway from Grafton, and it's great to see them out marching, and it looks like they've got quite a few drummers. Maybe I can flip them out next year.
Yeah, there you go. They've been in our parade at least 20 years. I know that because in the years that I've been doing it, we've always had an appearance. Oh, look at Becca. Now, is that how you looked when you were a package?
My first parade appearance, I was a Girl Scout, wrapped like a present, much like those, and being pulled in a wagon because I'm pretty sure I was pretty young and it was one of those cold years, and Mom said, "We're putting you in the wagon." So.
I know that one year, the theme when I started in the parade in 1992, the theme was the gift of Christmas.
Okay.
And everybody was dressed up like a little package.
It looks like their float won third in the public organization division, so it looks like these girls used those patches and craft skills and built themselves a float.
Whoa, it looks awesome. These are the Grafton Girl Scouts, Troop 8079, and it looks like they won third place in the community float competition. Give them a big round of applause.
That's just something you can't miss out on our Girl Scout cookies.
That's right. I was a brownie for just a very short time in Grafton. It had something to do with having to be quiet.
Yeah,
I had a problem with that.
I think a similar story happened to me. Mom was the troop leader for a while, and I wasn't big into sharing, so Girl Scouts just wasn't for me, I guess.
Next we have Village Trustees Lisa Uribe Harbeck and Sue Meineke. You know, both of these ladies give up their time away from their kids and their family to help. They serve on the village board, ran for election, and, you know, it's really an awesome thing that they do. Sue grew up in Grafton and moved back here to raise her family, and she's serving her second year as trustee. And Lisa has lived in Grafton for 16 years and is an active member of the Save the Dam Association. And these are our friends from Sweet Trio. Everybody should stop in after the parade to fill your sweet tooth and have a visit with Santa and St. Nick.
They do have delicious chocolates and caramel apples, and
it's the best.
They deliver affordable indulgence, and that's their specialty. So definitely stop in
Wow.
right off Highway 16.
It's a good thing we didn't get this float near near horses. Wouldn't they be a little skittish?
I think that would have been a little mix-up in the parade, but...
This is the Diver's Delight float, and I know that very often they are promoting the Pirate Fest in Port Washington.
Yes.
But they have scuba... Oh, the pirates got everybody to do their famous... Here we have Jolly the Elf is right down in front of our table right now. Jolly has been busy all morning at the breakfast collecting letters from the kids to Santa Claus. And all the kids who give their name and address will be getting a letter back from the North Pole, which is an awesome thing. So we hope everybody included their address.